would know you, but there could be a lot of people within the group who may not know you. So, quick introduction about yourself. We have.
Yes, yes, certainly. So, hi everyone. I am Suresh. So, most of you guys know me because I have interacted with you guys for a lot of out of home requirements. For any of them, I never interacted. I work for Postoscope, Densu's out of home division. I am based out of Bangalore, um, and I handle all OH requirements from South for Densu Postoscope brand. So I also work for key clients like Intel, United Breweries, Aditya Birla Fashions, and TVS Motors. This is my primary clients I work on. So that's a quick introduction about me. So I just don't want to bore you guys with all my out of home slides and all. So I just want to be a very interactive session. So I just want to quickly cover a few important points where most of them who does not regularly work on out of home requirements. So for them, um, to cover some basic idea of how we plan an out of home campaign from a brief to execution stage, how we use our tools effectively to give a good plan out of home plan to our clients, how TG profiling is done for out of home campaigns, how we execute and monitor the out of home campaigns, and many other out of home touch points, which is non-traditional formats. And also, we would also cover how the innovations are being executed in out of home platforms. So these are some few points. So I would like take you guys through a quick two slider, which will give you a quick understanding of how this planning will happen. So just presenting my slide. You guys can see my slide. So when we talk about out of home, which is very traditional media in India, a lot of our competitions agencies are still think out of home as like we normally work with Excel sheets, PowerPoints.
Suresh, we can't see the your slide. If you've presented, we can't see the slide.
Just be sharing.
Huh.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
So when we talk about out of home as a media, like it's a very traditional media in India, like print, television, and other media formats. So normally, what our competitions or brands think, like we used to work with Excel sheet in the past, PowerPoints with a lot of disordered pictures. Like most of our plannings were done based on a gut feel. We had a very slow process of turnaround times and a lot of manual errors. So now we have evolved into a different phase of out of home planning, where we plan with efficiency, accuracy, location intelligence, audience profiling, machine learning, speed, and return of investments, etc. So how we do this is through our in-house planning tools and softwares that we normally um, sorry. How we do this is like we use our in-house planning tool, which we have a data-driven approach through our subscriptions through Berkeley GeoPath, Facebook, and census data as well. So all of the plannings are laid into a funnel. Like we initially we do a target audience heat map, and we do micro targeting by pin codes. High traffic zones will be mapped using JS Polygon, and quality of sites will be graded, and impact and
Suresh,
new media
one
sites.
question.
Yeah.
Suresh, one question. These are these Dentsu proprietary tools, or are these also available with other outdoor agencies also?
This tool is a Dentsu proprietary tool,
Okay.
and other agencies have their own planning softwares as well. But
तो फेसबुक और ये जियो पाथ तो उनके पास मतलब बाकी सबके पास भी होता होगा.
no, we have subscriptions with these
Subscriptions, okay.
data. So we use
Okay.
these data from these subscriptions, which will
Okay.
we will layer out for our planning through our tools. So with these data, which we collect from Geopath, Facebook, Root, and census data, we will plan our out-of-home campaigns.
Nihal has a question.
Yes.
Hey, hi Sampath.
Hi.
Good morning. I lead strategy at iProspect, and I thought I'll hop in on the session because I'm very curious about how we do outdoor.
Yes.
I have one very fundamental question on the planning slide, Sampath. When you say you look at the audience mapping, is this layered with the locations where outdoor placement is there, or is this agnostic? Like, for example, your tool can say that the concentration of people of your TG would be, say, for example, in a particular pin code in, say, Mulund, but or say in one of the any one pin code, but in that pin code probably there is no outdoor inventory available. So is this taking into a factor the inventory that is available, or is this agnostic of the where the inventory is available?
Okay. So what we do is basically once we receive a brief from client, so we will first find out where our TG frequent. So the TG frequency is mapped using our GeoPath and Facebook data, where we have subscribed to where we will get the data where our set of audience will frequent more in a particular geography. So based on that, our heat map will be displayed on the planning software. So we will overlay that particular heat map with the list of available inventories in the particular geography. And based on the brand and product requirements, we would suggest and recommend the clients the actual and apt media that we would propose to a client for that particular campaign.
Understood. So say, for example, your tool tells that, say there's a client which says the targeting is Dentsu employees. So we have to target or people in marketing and advertising industry. So we target, say, all the places where the agency offices are. But
Yes.
यहाँ पे आजू बाजू में there is no billboard. Then does your tool still show the places where the offices are, or will your tool say that, based on the TG that we have, the closest inventory would be where these people are staying or something like that?
Okay. So I will hope this slide will give you a quick idea of how our TG will be layered. So what happens is once the brief is entered into the system, the tool will throw up the audience hotspots, or for example, here as per your query, the Tensu or other agency offices across. So once we layer that, once we layer that, what happens is the office maps are shown in the planning software. So once it is showed, we will locate the key traffic and key traffic zones in near and around the agency offices. So once the hotspots are identified, then we will layer out on the relevant media touch points nearby. Or for example, here, if we don't have any out-of-home touch points near our offices or any other agency, locations, we will now go back to the secondary filter where we will select the approach roads or exit roads from that particular area, so that anyone who will travel towards that particular location will have to cross this particular inventory, and they will be able to observe the communication what we have been displayed.
Understood. Understood. Thank you so much, Sampath. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, please proceed.
So carrying on, so once I'm just giving you a quick background of this tool. So this tool can do, our proprietary planning software tool will help us do audience mapping, key traffic zones targeting, hotspot identification, and pin code data. The more interesting part of this particular tool is the pin code mapping. So for example, if we have a client which um, who can give us the sales data. Like for example, if a particular I will take an e-com client as an example here, and if they can give us their sales data, we can overlay in our tool. For example, if they give us a particular pin code where their sales are going weak, or if their sales are little high, we can map that pin codes using these tools, and we can recommend where to target where the weak spots are, or where we can give more out of home presence for to create the brand awareness. So these are some of the advantages of using the tool, and also we can do hotspot identification where our TG frequent more in the particular geography. So these are some of the basic things what we regularly use on our day-to-day planning process for any out-of-home requirements when it comes to Postscope as a brand. So apart from this, we also I would also want to take you through how the planning process is there. So I'm just closing this out. This is just what I want to show. So once the brief comes in from any brand, so what we do is we were few years back, we will just circulate it to directly to our regional buyers, where they will connect with the suppliers or the media owners who will who owns the inventories, and suggest us a, a basic availability plan for that particular time period. Now we have evolved, like now we don't go by this. As soon as the brief comes in, it will first go to the data and insights team to first narrow down to first identify what is the brief of the actual client requirement, what is the audience profiling, touch points, what they want to target, and we recommend based on the approach what the client requires out of the brief. Kala, you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to finish, then I can ask. Or basically, I wanted to check one more thing while you go back and suggest clients. Okay, these are your catchment areas, so this is where, and you map the sales data specifically for an retail client. The timeline, the time frame of the campaign also makes it plays a very crucial part as well, right?
Yes.
I wanted to know, do you guys have any, like, learning, or do you also suggest saying that, hey, listen, you do a 15 days campaign, it's just an example I'm saying, is much better, you will find traction, versus a 1 month campaign, or I don't know, whichever way works. But I'm understanding the duration of the campaign also plays a very important role, along with the location and other things. I know there are many times we see it basis what is the other client, if there is any other client and the location is good, but there is an extension of the previous client, you we may not get it. There are sites which gets blocked for for the whole year. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons for that. So when do you suggest a block? Does it really work if I block a site, or if I'm there present for the, let's say, for 6 months? Or let's say for an e-tail client, or shorter, like a 15-day campaign is a short is what they should be doing, looking at, or a 1 month campaign to look at some movement, if I'm located and placed at the strategic places where I'm supposed to be. Basically, the duration of the campaign is what I'm trying to you know check, like, ask you, how do you suggest, or how do you go by it? If it differs from brand to brand or category to category, you know.
Yes, Kala. So what we recommend through out of home planning is like it depends on client to client and brand to brand. So when we go with an e-tail client, so we they go by, let's say there will be an end of season sale or a Republic Day sale or an Independence sale campaign. Or when it comes to a real estate client, it will be a builder who wants to project their upcoming projects in some prime area, or if it is an FMCG client, they want to showcase their new products. So when it comes to the duration of the campaign, what happens is in outdoor, like we recommend a basic of 21-day campaign, because as per outdoor practice, like after 21 days, any particular creative what you showcase in a particular in the same location will become a blind spot, like because we normally target the regular travel patterns of the our key audiences. So 21 days is the minimum required duration to answer your question, which will get you the impact of any particular campaign. After 21 days, if you wish to continue the campaign, we normally recommend a change of communication for certain clients. Or what in other cases, what we do is we shuffle the sites from location A to location B. Still, it will be the same campaign, but we will change the placement of the media after 21 days, or we change the communication.
Oh, okay. So it's basically to get some movement and some traction, because after a 21 day period, you see there would be a decay in, no, there's no point to either being at the same place or going continuing with the same communication. A refresher will, okay.
Definitely help the help to boost the campaign communication. And
Okay.
so we that's what we observed in my experience in the past.
So when it comes to sale campaign, no, let's say if I have a sale, let's say on 10th Feb, right? And I know outdoor is one of the medium which generally clients do use it when it comes to even tactical campaigns. So when it comes that time, do you like within the 20, I'm guessing there will be a refresher, or maybe the days are shorter instead of 21, because sale campaign would be a like a, let's say it's a 3 day campaign, a 3 day sale or a 4 day case. So the communication has to be closer to the sale dates, right? So that it registers to the in the consumer's mind saying that okay, there is a sale going to come up, be ready or be prepared for it. In that case also a 21 day will work, or you suggest let have a 21 day but have a refresher, change of communication between. And when you're coming closer to a sale date, like after 15 days you're being part of that, you're being on the site. After 15 days you change the communication, okay, now the sale is nearing, these are the dates when you can expect. So how does it work when it comes to a tactical, specifically a tactical campaign, like let's say a sale campaign?
So what happens is, taking a reference from our previous campaigns, what we executed for clients like PhonePe and Flipkart. So what we did was a teaser. It was a 15-day campaign. We split it into a 7+7 day campaign. The first 7 days of the campaign was having a creative one with a teaser campaign, and the last leg of the campaign of the next 7 days had a actual communication of the end of season sale or the sale campaign communication. So we would recommend um, at least 15 to 20 days prior the actual sale happening, and we recommend the splitting the campaign into two, into a teaser and the sale communication campaign.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. Thank you, Suresh. Thank you.
So, Suresh, sorry, this is Niyal again here. Just a extension to Kala's question. So obviously the perpetual battle that we have is there is budget constraints. So how do you decide between duration of the campaign versus spread of the campaign? Like for example, if you have to buy inventories across 100 pin codes versus you have to buy inventory over say 30 pin codes but for a longer duration. So what is the planning principle while deciding this, given maybe let's take the same brief of a sale campaign or something like that. So how do you go about planning for that?
So when it comes to budgeting of an outdoor campaign, so what we normally do is we have deals with all top vendors across the country. So we work with all our registered suppliers who are registered with Densu Communications
Yeah.
as a. So once we know, once the brief comes, we will get the availability of all the particular suppliers of that particular geography. So which these availabilities are procured by our regional buying teams who located across the country. So once budgeting comes, we will once the data team will recommend based on the how our competition brands have operated. All these data points will be analyzed. How much our competition has spent and what is required spend for this particular campaign or the product. Then based on that, we will give a budget allocation to our regional teams. Based on that, they will do the planning. So these are, hope this answers the question, Nihal.
So basically it's not a like a if I may call it a one shot planning process. There is layers to it that we need to see. We have to look at other data points to determine spread versus depth, if I may call it. And
Yes.
there is also some local nuances because the regional teams will have to kind of look at the availability and other factors to understand that.
Yes.
Got it. Got it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, a very stupid question, but would it be possible for you to like show us a output of the outdoor plan? Like if you have executed some plan in the past, maybe an Excel sheet or something, because I have never seen it personally. And just walk us through that, typically how do you show a plan to a client, if that is okay with you?
Yeah, I can show that. I'll just answer Amit's query.
Yeah,
Then
absolutely. Yeah.
So Suresh,
I,
I just wanted to check on like out of home. So normally on digital, we try to go with some innovations. We do gamification sort of thing. So in like out of home, have you tried any innovative technologies in the like out of home advertising space?
yes, Amit, we have tried a lot of innovations in out of home from the use of like artificial that LED signages, 3D innovations. There are certain restrictions in out of home where we have to comply by the government regulations. For example, um, even though we have the technology and the the creative ideas that where we can execute the out of home innovations, there are certain restrictions of that we need to follow. In, for example, like yes, we can play with a lot of colorful lights and all, for example, I'm saying. But the type of restrictions what we need to follow is it should not disturb the traffic, that it should not divert them from the concentration on their road. So we have to keep the innovations very subtle and effective so that all our brand communication is effective. So these are few restrictions that we have on out of home innovations. Yes, and answering to your questions, we do innovations starting from the billboard, on ground innovations in malls, airports, and other ambient locations like corporate parks, corporate tech parks, and other key ambient locations. And also the out of home touch points are more evolved. The touch points itself is more of an innovative format. For example, now we have a digital screens placed in residential areas. I mean, what I meant by residential areas inside the residential apartments, like near the elevators, lobbies, and all. And all these digital screens are programmatic. So we can design a communication when and where what communication has to be displayed to our TG. So these type of innovations is definitely possible, and India as a market, it's rapidly growing on these type of new media formats. And maybe in a year or two, we will reach to a stage where all out of home, most of it will be a digital and programmatic. Answering your query.
Right, Suresh. And one more query on like programmatic out of home, which is like digital out of home we do. So in that, like how you place the ads at the real time, like on real time basis. So normally people say like this is digital out of home, and we can show our ad to the right people at the right time. So like how, like is there any jargon or any calculation that you track those person? For example, if someone is traveling to airport, and if I want to show him like a ad of a luggage, so like how that can be done?
Um, yes. So what the basic thing what we do is when it comes to programmatic digital out of home as a real time communication, we will geofence the particular media locations. So anyone with a smartphone who has given all the permissions when you install a particular software. So what happens is as soon as someone enters that geofence location or geo-targeted location, your communications will be displayed on their mobile devices. It can be a social handle, or it can be other web-based locations wherever whatever they're consuming, your ad will be communicated. So basic idea is to geofence that location. Answering to your query. That's the basic criteria is required for a programmatic real-time out of home. So, and also there is a separate session which is planned on 3rd of February, which will take you more in detail of programmatic digital out of home. The session is conducted by our expert Puneet, who does
Yeah, I
programmatic.
was just going to say that this is a 3rd February question, so keep it for that. I
Yes.
think.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mega. Thank you, Suresh.
Yeah, Niti.
Uh, so, Suresh, I raised my hand, but I think again that question will be for the next session. So I'm taking it down.
No problem. No problem. So I'm just just showing one plan with Nihal has asked me. Like it's an ongoing campaign of our TVS uh, Raider is the campaign. So what we do here is Nihal, like first for TVS as a brand, what we do is first we do a basic availability plan, which gives you basic things about state, town, media, location, what type of media. If it's FL, it's front lit. Just for your clarification, a number of units, size, rate, and all the required availabilities as well. So this is the basic template how we showcase the plan to our clients. Nihal, just did that answer by your query?
Suresh, not able to see it on the screen. Nothing on the screen.
Can you guys see?
No, Suresh, we can't see the shared file.
Screen share नहीं दिख रहा.
Yeah, I'm doing. Okay.
Yes, can see now.
So this is the basic plan format. This plan is for our current ongoing campaign of TVS Raider is the client, and Raider is the brand. I'm sorry. So what we normally give is the client gives us the actual brief and with a list of towns where they want to do the campaigns. And for TVS, it's a different planning process altogether. Unlike other normal clients, like what we do is we first supply them with the basic plan where the list of touch points and the recommended location as per the number of units required and the budget allocated by the client. In some cases, client allocates the budget for each and every state. In some cases, we recommend an optimum budget as per the market or the geography. So here we normally showcase in any outdoor plan, we'll have state, town, location, type, the total square feet, printing cost, mounting cost, and commission, etc. And what happens after this stage is we will have to connect with the area managers for TVS brand. So what we will do is, like, once we supply the plan to the TVS client, they will approve and they will, it's a go ahead to us for to execute the campaign. So what we do is, after this stage, we will connect with the individual area managers and we will tell them that these are the approved sites by the media team from TVS, and we need their feedback on whether these placements are okay, or if they have any particular preferences to place the ad in their particular market. So based on that communication, we will rework or fine tune the plan basis the area manager feedback as well. So area manager feedbacks gives the final as the final post recce plan. And some places the area managers go physically on ground to check all the sites, whether it is the location what we are recommended is good, or or if they want to change any particular location, same can be fine tuned in the final post recce plan. So once we do the post recce plan, we will again circulate the plan to the TVS media team. So with the final post recce plan. So based on this, we will go live with the campaign. So finally, after this, the MR will be shared to the creative agency. So creative agency will do the creative based on the MR shared. And here in TVS Raider, we had a good challenge for executing the campaign. That's why I was showing you this particular campaign, because here what happened is, when we shared the 80% AMR to the creative agency, we didn't know that there will be a QR code placed in all the billboards. So once the QR code is how they designed it is, like, they have designed the QR code individually for each and every particular unit and location. So this particular QR code is placed in the in all the billboards or all the creatives across the country in order to measure the effectiveness of the out of home campaigns. This becomes like like a digital out of home connection, so that the effectiveness of out of home campaign can also be measured in the back end. So what we recommended to the creative agencies, yes, we can put the QR code, but your QR code should be large enough so that people, when your billboard is like first floor or second floor level high, people from the ground level who is constantly on the move, for example, at least 22 to 30 kilometer per hour, will not be able to scan it. So they actually had the QR code in the back end to track the effectiveness of the campaign. So after the installation, after the creative has received, we will print the all the creatives in region wise and state wise, and we will logistically dispatch it to the respective markets. So the average go live time for a tier 1 town will be 24 hours. And when it goes to tier 2, tier 3, it will be 48 to 72 hours to the creative delivery to implementation time. And so once we have the installation starting, we will supply this installation report to client in the which when the site is taken live and when is the scheduled end date. This is the basic plan presentation to the client.
Suresh, Nehal, I think had to leave for a meeting.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We can continue. Yeah, Neeti, you have a question?
Yes, a couple of questions, and these are coming out of the plan that we just saw. Just
Yeah.
you mentioned, Suresh, that in this case of TVS plan, there was this QR code that was there, and which kind of had an impact on the way the inventory was chosen. So usually, how does it happen? Is creative requirement or the creative dimensions or whatever about the creative, is that a part of the brief, and should that come pre-hand, or how does it happen? Is there a lot of play there?
So, Niti, answering your question, like what TVS as a client does is the creative brief will go to the creative agency, and the media brief will come to us. So the creative agency will start working on the basic layouts of the the communication as briefed by the client. So what happens is happened in our campaign for TVS is initially the creative agency was not briefed about the QR code. So we supplied the MR with 80% MR, thinking that there won't be any QR code. So once they were ready with the final delivery of the creative, then the client has revised the creative brief with the QR code placement. So again, what happened is the creative agency has to redo the creative, and which was affecting our go live date of the campaign. So technically, the campaign was live in other media platforms like print, television, digital, across. But as out of home has a lot of logistical and manpower involved, unlike other media formats, out of home will take some time to go live. So we have already pre-planned all these timelines. But due to this QR code placement, what happened is our scheduled go live date got delayed. So what happens is when any brand kicks in a campaign, when it's a consolidated approach in a market, the campaign gets very effective. Like you see your campaign on print, television, outdoor, digital. So when one platform is not live, like your impact of the campaign will get dropped a little bit. That's what we are recommending. When we plan and schedule, like all the media formats should go live and give that impact together.
Sure, sure. So another question, Suresh. So in that sheet, I was seeing that there are media types like billboard, FOB, or unipole, and all of that. Is there a interplay around that? That in a regular media plan, there should be X number of billboards, or what that would make it more effective? Is that something that X unipoles plus X billboards will make it more effective? And is there a mix around that?
Not in particular, Niti. Like it depends on the brief actually. Like if a particular campaign is targeting, a mass audience, so then our spread it will be a spread campaign. There is no particular X number like we need to have these many billboards or these many FOB or any other particular out of home formats. It entirely depends on what the campaign requirement and the client the product requirement actually. So we just need to make sure that what is the effective media type in a particular location, which will cater the TG at that particular location. For example, there might be a billboard and a skywalk and a gantry in one particular location. So what we do is based on the visibility of each and every media, we will suggest and recommend the particular media format in our plan. So there might be a billboard, bus shelter, unipole across, but we need to first find out what would be the effective form of media that is required for our particular campaign. So there might be an FMCG client who would prefer a bus shelter branding, but there might be a other automobile client who would want a large format standalone billboard. It's entirely based on what the client requirement is.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Suresh, there's another question in the chat by Kamla.
Hi, Suresh. So I have put my question on the chat where there's too much noise around. So basically, I wanted to understand TVS is currently, ongoing plan, as you said. So do you have any other case study that you have done in past where you carried the QR code in any advertisement and you have really seen the engagement, of people with that particular ad? Because I had this thing in mind that but I never thought this can help in outdoor media also. So I just wanted to understand from that perspective.
So, answering your question, Kamala. So, what we do is we normally out of home is as a media is a awareness media or a brand recall media, basically used as. So, in out of home, like QR code can be used, and the placement where the QR code is being used. For example, we normally don't recommend the placement of QR codes in billboards, because since it's on a very high level from the from the audience, it's not very easy for them to capture using their smartphone or mobile devices. So yes, QR code can be placed in other touch points like corporate parks, malls, inside metro train branding, and there are other locations where the QR code will be effective. We recommend those places to do a QR code placement in the creative, but not on a large format billboards.
And I think to see more traction, we really need to see what kind of communication also we are putting across, right? With QR code. If like
Yes,
we need
definitely.
instant result and instant, for example, in case of automobile, if you want promote test drive, so I think in that case it will help. Or we are doing a discount led campaign. So I think there the QR engagement would really see more traction coming in. Than doing a regular branding campaign and putting a QR code. I don't think people will be too much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, answering a question, like we cannot put QR code anywhere in out of home space. We need to define the actual location where people will be able to engage with the QR code in a particular location, and it should be the out of home placement should be in eye level, easily scannable location. Those type of touch points we will recommend for a QR code placement type of campaigns.
Got it. Thank you, Suresh.
Also, I just want to give you a quick glimpse of our recent case study that we have executed for Behrooz Biryani, which has a digital OH integration campaign. So what happened is, just giving a quick background. So it's for Behrooz Biryani as the client. So what happened is, in Mumbai there were certain pin codes where there say the orders were very low. So they gave us the pin codes of the orders where the sales were low and where the sales were high. So what our data and insights team has done a wonderful job by overlaying those pin codes in our software, and we have amplified the campaign in the low sale pin code areas. So what happened is, once the campaign went live, there was a good increase in the number of orders, and the search trend also got spiked during the time of the period. The campaign was taken live for only for 10 days, but that was a good campaign for Behrooz Biryani, where how OH and digital work together to increase the sale of a particular product. So we can achieve all these using our proprietary planning software and tool. So talking about the other non-traditional, apart from billboards and unipoles, which is always a traditional media formats, there are other new touch points coming up. Basically, if you see Mumbai as a market, the out of home media is being evolved. You guys can see a lot of digital billboards coming up in Mumbai. Same across Delhi and other top metro towns as well. So also there are other touch points like airport media, which is a premium touch point, and malls, corporate parks, RWA, and there are other interesting touch points like you can place your communication inside gyms, other recreational areas, restaurants, and restaurants, pubs, and all these can be filtered. For example, I'm giving an example of RWA screens where you can narrow down and filter down what type of apartments or TG you can target. For example, it depends on if it's a premium product, you can shortlist and filter down apartments which is worth of 75 lakhs and above. Depending on the brand and the product requirement, and all these screens can be programmatically used. And there are other touch points which are new coming. We are still exploring those touch points, like digital billboards, digital bus shelters, and inside corporate parks. There are certain restrictions where you can have what type of communications have been can be used and cannot be used inside a corporate places. And um, and we can do a creative amplification innovation. Normally, what we do is, when a basic creative comes in an outdoor, like, we cannot change the actual content of the communication, because since it's been approved by the global team, or basic brand requirements, we can actually amplify the creative. We have a in-house creative team who will help us in amplifying and recommending how a out-of-home creative can be amplified for a particular campaign. So once the client supplies us their basic campaign creative, our creative team will work on that particular creative, which will give us a quick amplification idea on how effectively these can be used. So these are the few points that I want you guys to understand, so that you guys are confident when you approach any client or any queries you answer to our clients. Any other questions?
So Suresh,
Suresh, just one thing. So, is there any deck ready with you that states like what things we should keep in mind and what should be do's and don'ts while we make a outdoor plan, or have a discussion with the client, and these are the points that we should be keeping in mind. So, would you have something ready with you?
Yeah, I have. I will definitely share it here in this group.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi, Sai.
Hi Suresh, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So my question is like these all these out of home inventories, right? Like it will be on a private building or something. Like who will own that particular inventory? Is there a collective body which will own and manage whom you will approach, or how is it?
Um, Actually, there is no one particular owner of these billboards. It's owned by multiple suppliers across the country. There is no one particular person who's owning all this or governing all this suppliers. Like, we as a company, we are aggregators. We don't own any of these inventories. We are aggregators. We connect with all our registered suppliers, and we procure the required medias for our campaigns.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
But there are certain locations. Sorry.
Yeah, in continuation with the question, even I wonder about the same thing. Like, I mean, I think it takes a lot of influential people to kind of own a particular space, or because I usually notice here in Mumbai especially, uh there are these politicians and other giants who own such places for billboards. So I don't think any a common man could think of starting a business like this.
Yes, you're 100% right, Pooja. Yes, most of the billboards are owned by key high influential people in top. Not only in market like Mumbai, there are markets like tier 3, tier 4 towns where the high influential people will own most of the billboards. And yes, we are registered with them, and we don't register with all of them. We have some key criteria that they should match. For example, they should we will normally look at the basic hygiene and aesthetics of the media what they own. Even though there are hundreds of vendor, we don't get registered with all of them. We have they undergo a lot of selection process within our group, so we can only work with those particular suppliers.
Hi, Suresh. I had a question. This is regarding the pricing. So, is the pricing based on the size of the billboard or the location wherein there is high traffic? How is it?
Yes, Anil, answering to your question, the size of the billboard does not decide the pricing of the um, media. It's actually the location of the where the placement is, which decides the pricing of the billboard. In some places, like tier 3, tier 4, and upcountry markets, the um, size becomes the deciding factor of the price. But there are other markets which operates on flat rates, like top metro towns. There is no pricing based on the size. It's all based on the location. When you go to the rural markets, it's all on square feet rates. It two different types of price points. Yeah, Anil.
Suresh, just wanted to check. Maybe you did touch upon it. I missed it, but just wanted to understand how are the competition brands outdoor activities being tracked, and how do you monitor? I know you do try to get in a lot of.
Yes, Mega. We are subscribed with time monitoring data. It's nothing to do with the Times network. It's a separate entity, the time monitoring. So we normally get the uh, competition data from the time monitoring report, which is inbuilt to our planning software. Whenever we require these, we will define the particular category or brand, and those particular category brand spends will be derived from that report, what we receive from the time monitoring data as the first cut data. And there are other ways of getting the competition data is by when it comes to outdoor, like you go manually in some cases, because time monitoring data does not cover ambient locations and airports and other transit medias. So in those cases, what we will do is we manually approach the regional team, calling up the market leaders, or our suppliers, to understand if any of the campaigns got executed for these particular category or brands in such for these time frame or duration, whatever we need to find out. So it operates under two different types. One is through time monitoring, and the second one is always a manual, as per our market intelligence, we have to find out in out of home.
Thanks, Suresh.
Thank you, Mega.
Any other questions by anybody, or do you want us to wrap it up? Any more questions?
So
So Suresh,
addressing to
one final
everybody,
question.
like we have another two. Yeah, yeah.
So how you see the future of this out of home advertising, and like because like digital out of home is taking place. So how you are looking the future of this out of home?
So looking at the future of out of home in India, like the out of home as an industry is growing very rapidly, and from the traditional approach, it's becoming more, technologically advanced in terms of touch points and how the media is being consumed. So It's in future, it's not going to be the out of home is not going to be planned based on any gut feeling or any other marketing. It's purely it will be a data driven or data driven approach will be given for out of home as well, like other media platforms like print, television, and digital. So out of home is going to come to that stage in the future where you can actually have a measurability. If I had to answer your question, out of home campaign can have a measurability in future. That's where I look out of home as a media in future.
All right, Suresh. Thank you.
Yeah, Suresh, I think we can wrap up. I think you were saying something before Amit raised a
Yeah,
question.
I just want to tell you guys there is another two sessions scheduled. One is for programmatic DOH. Uh, Another one is with our strategy and insights team. I think third Feb is the
Third Feb, and then we are doing another one.
with Srini. There is
Yeah,
another
sure.
session.
Yeah.
So which will give you guys some more insights on programmatic DOH and how the
Yeah.
out of home strategies are done.
And then I think we're working one more session we're doing with Hasneen over the innovations.
Yeah, one more session. I
Yeah,
got that.
yeah. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, this once we cover all these sessions, we'll be pretty much clear on the entire out of home process.
Thank you so much, Suresh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh.
To everybody for
Thank you,
joining.
Suresh.
Thank you.